In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto. Crypto fam, it's your boy CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. I should have said it's your boys. And Miguel wants to let everyone know this beautiful New Year's Eve that aliens exist. So
Don't
take
forget,
note.
guys. Don't forget.
If you ever had any thoughts that Miguel wouldn't have a t-shirt like that, you obviously haven't paid attention and listened to him speak long enough. You just got to pay attention a little bit more. You would know he has that t-shirt. But yeah, Crypto fan, we appreciate each and every one of you being here. I do want to say before the stream gets started, please, tonight, will you guys please, and you shouldn't be doing this at any time, but if you guys are going to drink tonight, will you please commit to having a sober driver? Just have a designated driver, please. I've lost too many friends like that, and I want everybody to have a great night tonight. Have fun, do your thing, but just make sure you got somebody to drive. So, without further ado, smash the likes, guys. If you're in the live chat, X out and do your thing there, and then make sure that you guys are subscribed. As a quick reminder, we gave away the $500 recently. Now we're giving away a free year of Market Cipher, which is huge, guys. I don't know if you know that or not. They had a little deal going on, but normally it's like $1,000 or something like that. And so we're giving that away. And all you have to do, be subscribed to the channel, right? And or if you are a member of Debate Crypto Academy, that's debatecrypto.academy, we haven't decided 100% for sure if that's just going to drastically amp that up or if it's only going to be for them. But basically, subscribe to the channel and be part of the Debate Crypto Academy. We'd love to have you. All right. Miguelito, what is on the podium this beautiful New Year's Eve, my brother?
It's the yearly recap of 2021, right? We're going to be covering how 2021 has changed crypto forever. It's never going to be the same after what's happened now, and what is going to come of this in 2022.
That's a fact, dude. You know, there's a saying, and I said this earlier. I sent out a video to the Debate Crypto Academy this morning. Yeah, actually, not that long ago. And I was just kind of reminding people, you know, it's one of the most cliche things that you ever hear is when in doubt, zoom out. And the reality is there's a reason that people say that. Okay. And here is why. So everybody right now is, or for the most part, people are really bearish right now. They're saying, what's going on? We going down? Is the bear market here? Are we ever going to get past 50K again? Or is 100K ever going to come? You know, all of these questions, right? But check this out. I want to show you guys this. We're going to start off with the total market cap of the, or not the total, well, the total market cap's on there too, but a chart showing the total market as it relates to the crypto space. So check this out. We ultimately, if you look at this is on a weekly time frame, okay? Let's start at the start of, right? Let me get to the very first. Okay, so boom, where my pointer is right here, that was January 4th of 21. Guys, have we had pullbacks? Yes, but overall, what did we do? Absolutely blast off. Nice big pullback. Absolutely blast off. We've got a little bit of a pullback coming on right now. And so what are we expecting next? Boo! Another blast off. And ultimately, Market Cipher is setting us up and kind of showing us a couple different things as well. We've got some stuff going on. We had some bearish action on the momentum wave from this past week, but we've seen that, or these past couple weeks, and we've seen that play out. We actually have a little bit of a curve coming back up to the upside right now. We're waiting for that to confirm. Maybe we'll get a green dot on there. But the reality is, and very simply what I'm trying to say is when you look at the crypto markets like a freaking hawk, right, from 1,000 feet and you look down, what do we see? We see bell curve adoption. We are absolutely changing. The crypto space went from, you know, nothing to, and we're really running. So I just want to remind you guys, zoom out. Things are happening.
Yeah, dude, 100% things are happening, right? 2021, there's so many things that happened that people in 2017 were, whoa, lights just went out.
Yeah, no, I saw that. That was weird. Dude, aliens exist.
I'm telling you, dude.
Somebody, John said, "Did you get abducted?" So I'm wondering. I'm wondering if it happened before for them and we didn't see it. At any event, continue with what you're saying.
Yeah.
My bad.
Well, yeah, 2021 has changed crypto forever, right? It's never going to be the same. The things that have happened in 2021 are things that people would only dream about in
Yeah,
2017, 2018, right?
yeah,
Institutional adoption, right? The things that have been happening around the world, the level of adoption in general, the level of
yep,
interest, the amount of money that has been flowing into crypto this year alone
yep.
is things that were only just dreams in 2017. So in such a short time, things have changed so drastically. Just imagine what's going to happen by 2030, dude.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And so crypto fam, check it out. Here's what we're going to do today. Okay. We're going to go over, we're not going to go in great detail on any of this unless, we're having a chill session, right? But we want to go over the market as a whole as it relates to this past year, but we want to really focus on what moves these markets. We want to focus on Bitcoin. We want to focus on Ethereum. And then we're going to talk about, just to give you an overview, we're going to talk about some XRP, Shiba, other meme coins like Doge, what happened there, NFTs, metaverse, gaming. And then at the end, we're going to talk about what we see happening next year. So without further ado, let's get into it. Miguel, Bitcoin, you are the maxi in the house, right? Let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's start off with Bitcoin. So we started off the year in Bitcoin back in 2021, and I'm actually going to click over here. If we zoom in on the weekly, let me see here. Actually, let's go to the daily. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to go to a daily, and we're going to go back. We're going to go back, and I'll zoom that out. But we're in January. Okay, so here we go. So January, right here, January 1st, 2021, right? Let me. Oh,
Yes, sir.
I was gonna zoom in. I was gonna zoom in a little bit, but
You got to extend the
um,
canvas out.
yeah, I see that.
The other way.
Sorry, guys. Here we go. Where are we at? December of 20. Here we go. Right about here. My bad, guys. Okay. So we start off the year at the total
Wow.
crypto market at $766.784 billion, right?
Yeah.
And so Bitcoin, which is actually what I
I just
mentioned.
want to point out that was already a massive run from where 2020 was, because from the halving event of Bitcoin in May of 2020 to January 1st of 2021, there was already a huge,
Oh, that's a
massive run.
fact. That's a freaking fact. There's no questions on there's no I don't think anybody can question. I don't think anybody can question that. Hold on a second. But yeah, so Bitcoin was actually, full disclosure, what I meant to pull up there. But we were at literally, and it's still on market cap. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry.
It's
BTC
Bitcoin
USD.
USD.
Yeah, no, I know. I just didn't type it in. All right, there we go. Now let's try this again. Okay. Okay. Zoom out a little bit here. Let's crank this down. All right. Forgive me. So we started off at about 20. It looks like about 29,000, right? Just at
Yep.
the end of 2020, start of 2021. And we went all the way up to 69K. That is 100, and let's see. So we went from 30 to so from 30 to 60 is 100%, and then an extra 30. So 133% is what we went up at from the low of the, or
From
not
the
the low of
top.
the year,
Yep.
but from the start of the year to the end of the year. Guys, that's freaking huge.
Yeah,
Miguel,
definitely
why?
outperformed the S&P 500
Oh
by
my gosh,
a boatload.
why?
Well, at the very beginning, we saw that in January ish time, we saw MicroStrategy, a company that no one's ever heard of before in the history of stocks, right? Of traditional finance, come out and say, hey, we're buying Bitcoin. And
Yeah,
at first, people didn't pay attention. People were like, "Oh, whatever. Who the hell is MicroStrategy? I don't know what MicroStrategy is. Who the hell is Michael Saylor,
yep,
right?" But slowly that name came to become very recognized and respected very quickly when they realized what MicroStrategy is, how MicroStrategy has gotten to where it's been, and said,
Yeah.
wait a minute, they're buying Bitcoin, right? That was January. Shortly after that, between February and March, we saw Tesla talk about Bitcoin and accept and get Bitcoin on this balance sheet, start accepting Bitcoin. Um, we saw what else happened around that same time frame for Bitcoin? The Bitcoin was price was exploding between January and March, right? It was just going up and up. Um,
And then
so we had a lot of interest.
what stopped it? What stopped it initially was it China FUD or was it Elon? I don't remember which
Both.
one
It was a
happened.
combination of both. At the same time, China
Yeah.
started talking about banning Bitcoin mining, right? Which was something that's not new, so nobody really paid too much attention to it. But
But
then they actually
hold
took
on
some
that.
steps
A
to
lot
it.
of people didn't know that, right? So you've got a lot of new people in the crypto space. And
Yes.
the news, just like anything else, likes to play on things like that, because the reality is you've got a whole bunch of new people to the space. They hear, oh my gosh, China is banning. I better sell. I better get out of this, right? But the
Yeah.
reality is, if they would have taken a breath and started listening to people like myself, like Miguel, like others that have been in the space, they would have heard this. Another day, another dollar, right? What's the new news here? Because that happens all the freaking time. But I think combined with the Elon Musk stuff, Miguel, and continue on with where you're headed. But I
Yeah.
think combined with it, it crushed it.
Yeah, the FUD, right? The FUD with the energy consumption, the fact that he had just put
Hmm.
$1.5 billion into Tesla, and then now comes out and says, "Wait a minute, it's bad for the environment, yada yada yada." That created a lot of confusion and despair in the market. So then May came around, and things dumped. Things were really bad. We had like about a 60% retracement for Bitcoin, dropping down to like 29, 30K, and everybody thought the bull run was over, and that was it for Bitcoin. But we saw that wasn't the end. We saw that by the end of the summer, after the summer lullaby, he came out, Elon came back out, said that it's not as bad as everybody thought. Jack Dorsey and him had that B word event. And since then, Bitcoin started to ramp up again. We saw that from that point on, institutions were running the game for Bitcoin, right? That was another big thing that happened in
Oh
2021
yeah,
was publicly announced institutions coming out, right? We had Morgan Stanley, we had banks all around the world, even we had Fidelity, we had a lot of other institutions coming out publicly saying we want Bitcoin. We want. We saw Kevin O'Leary, right, from Shark Tank,
yep,
and some other sharks. Mark Cuban, all for crypto and saying how crypto is changing the game and how they're holding crypto on their portfolios. We saw what's his name, Robert Kiyosaki, also coming out saying that, hey, look, I also hold Bitcoin and it's the way to fight inflation, right? Because then we started seeing inflation becoming a thing with all the stimulus money that was being printed and people running for Bitcoin as a hedge against that inflation.
yep,
So a lot of things were happening in 2021 for Bitcoin when it
yeah.
comes to that.
And then we get to the El Salvador, right?
Yep.
And I mean, think about this. Think about in 20, let's use 2017, 2018. If you would have told me, hey, there's going to be a country that is going to accept Bitcoin as legal tender, like we had talked about this for years. That has been like, what if,
That was the
ultimately,
what if
obviously,
Wednesday, right? That would have been a
right.
what if Wednesday right there.
Yep, for sure that would have been a what if Wednesday, because the reality is, for especially back when, a few years ago and even farther, before Bitcoin really, had its place as where it is right now as a standard of, a store of value. Bitcoin was really looked at as that peer-to-peer payment systems, right? Peer-to-peer, no governments involved, no nothing like that. Boom, that's what Bitcoin is. But Bitcoin has solidified itself with digital gold at this point. And so prior to that, all people
Yep.
would talk about is, well, when's it gonna be when's it gonna be legal tender? Who's gonna do it first? Is it ever gonna happen? No, that's never gonna happen. This, that, and the third. And guess what? It has happened, right? We now have it, and there's other countries that are getting involved as well. And the countries that I think that aren't going there are positioning themselves to figure out, what does this cryptocurrency thing really look like as it relates to our economy? How can it be used? And I think this is what a lot of the a lot of the countries are doing. They're trying to say, hey, how do I tweak this thing called cryptocurrency to work for the people and for us? The problem is, for most of these governments, it's more the other way around. How do we tweak this thing to make it work for us? And if it's good for the people, well, then cool. That's just a bonus. And I think that that's where we need to get things, we need to pivot a little bit, and things need to be, hey, this was made by the people for the people. Now let's let it be used by the people without all of the interference. And I think that the government's getting involved, though it could be if Bitcoin became the world reserve currency, it would be the most bullish freaking thing that could ever freaking happen. Hands down, point blank, period. You can't tell me I'm wrong about that. But if that happened, I got to tell you, there's going to be regulations put into place that I think absolutely would put a big time damper on the crypto space. And part of the reason why we love the crypto space is, whether you know this or not, the volatility, right? Because the volatility is what gives us opportunity. And those opportunities are what's giving us cash flow, right? Or call it cash flow, call it income, call it, reserve, call it savings, call it whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that it's a mixed bag. We want it to happen, but we kind of want it to happen under our terms. It's like, have our cake and eat it too. And I think the problem will
It's
therein
not.
lie.
It's not about having the cake and eating it too. It's about not negotiating with terrorists, and that's what that's what the Federal Reserve and the traditional finances. They are terrorists, and we cannot negotiate with them. It's a complete no negotiation surrender.
The problem is that they are the ones that make the rules, and they're calling us the terrorists, right? I don't know if you guys knew this. I'm going to share you guys a little
For now,
secret about Miguel and I. When Miguel and I talk on cell phone, right? We literally, and I know you guys are going to be like, gosh, these guys have lost it, but I'm just telling you, right? This is this is a conspiracy theory. But Miguel and I constantly have the most strange things happen on our calls between each other. And it doesn't, and Miguel, I think it's the same for you. I don't have it happen anywhere else, right? And it makes me wonder, like, what's going on when Miguel and I are talking? And a lot of times we talk about some wild ideas, or actually they're not wild ideas. It's called freedom. It's called freedom of speech. It's called America, right? Or it's supposed to be called that. And we had the weirdest things happen. So what am I getting at? What I'm getting at is the government always wants to, have an eye in their hand in the cookie jar, so to speak. And so if we can get their hand out of the cookie jar a little bit and actually let Bitcoin be what it's supposed to be, man, it's already life-changing. It could be other galaxy type changes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm
yeah,
hoping it
dude,
comes to fruition.
it's wild, bro. It's wild, right? I mean, what we seeing, what's happening with Bitcoin just this year, and
What
like
about
you said, El
Miami?
Salvador nations.
What about
Yeah,
Miami?
Right?
What
Miami,
about the
Francis
pro
Suarez.
athletes? What about the pro athletes taking
Yeah,
their income, taking their salary in Bitcoin? Gosh, there's so much. This has been
yeah,
a
dude.
year.
A bunch of pro athletes taking a gigantic portion of their salary in Bitcoin.
Yep.
Um, big athletes, right? Not like in athletes that nobody even has heard of, like big athletes in football, basketball, right? We've seen Francis Suarez, the mayor of Miami, right, create
Yep.
Miami Coin, wants to pay people out for holding Miami Coin in Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Wants Miami to become the central hub of crypto, just how New York is the central hub around the world for the traditional finance system.
It'll be kind of like
Miami
its
wants
own
that.
little Dubai. Miami will be
Yeah,
like a Dubai, so to speak.
right. Everybody focuses on New York, right? Also, everybody focuses on New York when they think about stock market. Well, he wants Miami to be this thing where the crypto markets, around the world, everybody talks about Miami and the amount of money that will bring to the city.
Yeah.
So we're seeing that. We're seeing that in New York as well. The new mayor that won over there, Eric Adams. We're seeing that in Texas. We're seeing senators like Cynthia Loomis coming out pro Bitcoin.
Yep.
Multiple senators. I don't know all the names of all of them, but there's multiple of them that are pro
Yeah.
Bitcoin. Has even called for a Bitcoin standard, bro. They've
Yep.
even called for a Bitcoin standard
So
in
then let
the
me ask you
Congress
this.
of the United States.
So let me ask you this, Miguel, before we jump into ETH and move farther into the alts and the NFTs and metaverse and all the other stuff that we're going to talk about, what do you think would be the single most let's take the world reserve currency off the table. What's going to be the single most bullish thing that you could see possibly happening in 2022 for Bitcoin specifically?
For Bitcoin specifically,
drop an idea
outside
in the
of
chat. If you guys listen, I want to hear in the chat. Sorry to cut you off, dude. If I want to hear in the chat, if you have an idea of what you think could be the most bullish thing to happen in the crypto space for Bitcoin in 2022, drop it in the chat. Drop your idea in the chat. What are you thinking, Miguel?
Besides the one obvious answer everyone would say would be spot ETF, right? Spot ETF would definitely be the most bullish thing for Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's more to it than that. I think the Federal Reserve coming out and Federal Reserve, the US government coming out and saying, Bitcoin is what it is. Bitcoin is not going away. It's not a threat to the US dollar, even though it is. They don't have to see it as a threat. They can see it as a coexistence, which it can be. I've said this multiple times. Just because Bitcoin continues to grow does not mean that the US dollar needs to disappear. And I don't believe that the US dollar will ever disappear. Even if it keeps dropping and getting inflated, it can just still coexist. And I think that the US government putting some Bitcoin on their balance sheet, right? Putting some Bitcoin on their balance sheet and saying, hey, we're going to be holding some Bitcoin because things in the US dollar is not so well right now. And we need to prop up our economy. We need to prop up our value, right? Can you imagine if the US government is holding up Bitcoin or in other cryptocurrencies and using DeFi to borrow at 1% interest to then start staking so they can prop up their economy, dude, and prop up the value of US dollars that they're getting and start using stable coins?
So hold on a second. So you're saying, what if the government would take what essentially is what they use for bond yields right now, and instead of buying and selling those bonds, they're going to stake stable coins? Oh boy.
Stake stable coins, and not just stable coins, right? They buy a big portion of Bitcoin, right? A big position of Bitcoin. Then they put that up as collateral. They borrow against it. They take money against their Bitcoin position, and then they start leveraging those loans into staking to be able to generate money for the country. Dude, they would be generating money without taxes, right? This don't have to tax people. They would literally be generating more money. They'd be making their money work for them, which would take some pressure off the average person from taxes, and just it would be a whole new economy. It would be a whole new system of how the United States government is making
actually
money.
Was able to make some money. I want to answer this real quick. Yasir Syed. I apologize if I butchered that. Happy New Year to you. But why is BTC? I'm guessing that's Bitcoin. BTC is what you meant to put. Falling if inflation is going up. Well, let me explain it to you in a really simple manner. You're looking zoomed in, like I was talking about earlier. You need to zoom out because the reality is Bitcoin is at, what's it at, Miguel? 47,
48.
48,000, right? It started the year at the very start of the year. Let's not even talk about right before that, because the start of the year was into the run up, but at like $28,000. We're talking about almost right now, and we're down right now in a downtrend. We're almost up 100% on the year. You do not find returns like that anywhere. And so the question is, how can it be a hedge when inflation's up and it's down too? The reality is you're just zoomed in too far. It is a hedge against inflation. Inflation is up. That doesn't mean that every single day, every single week, every single month, Bitcoin's going to be up. It just means that the trend will be up, and the trend is significantly up. Now, somebody else said something in the chat. I want to touch this too real quick.
100%. We're up 100%.
Bitcoin has been a little bit underwhelming compared to what we thought was going to happen, right? So Bitcoin is a great store of value. It absolutely is. We're so
speculative, bro. We're so spoiled. We think if it didn't hit 100K, what the hell? Bitcoin is not doing its thing. It's like, dude, Bitcoin is up 100%. It outperformed the S&P 500 yet again,
massively, and it's down, right?
It's not where it's down, right? It's down, and What asset is performing better than Bitcoin compared to anything in the traditional markets?
No,
Nothing. Yes,
it's all crypto. I mean, other cryptos obviously have
yeah, other
outperformed
cryptos
it,
might
but
be outperforming it, but with
yeah.
that comes a lot more risk, right? You could say a lot of these random meme coins have outperformed the Bitcoin, right, by the
Oh yeah.
amount of percent that they've gone up in one
Yeah.
year, but they've also crashed back down, right?
Yeah.
Bitcoin is down what a few
From its
percents
all-time
from its
high,
all-time
it's down
high.
25% or something like
Yeah,
that. And
people think when we hit an all-time high, we need to stay there and then go make a new all-time high. It doesn't
yeah.
work like that. Nothing works like that. Everything comes down from its all-time high. But if
Yeah.
you zoom out of Bitcoin, Bitcoin is in a forever bull market, right? We're always making new all-time highs. I was
Yeah.
literally just explaining this to somebody on the phone earlier today. They're like, "Oh, how am I going to make money if I just dollar cost average into Bitcoin? It's so high right now. How am I going to make money 4 or 5 years ago?" And I pulled up the chart and said, you see this? You see this price action right now in 2021? These last 2 months, look how high these candles are. Look how big these candles are. Oh, look at
Yeah.
the prices on these candles. Now let's zoom out to 2017. Look at these tiny little candles, right? In
Uh-huh.
2017, these big market volatility happening right now. Now let's zoom into 2017. Oh, wait, it looks just like what it looks like
Yep.
now, but we've gone so far ahead of that 2017 is this big.
Yep.
2021 is going to be this big by the time we're in 2025.
Yeah. I totally agree, and just to kind of to wrap that out, guys, Bitcoin is the asset that ultimately in the crypto space is the market mover. It has the most. I don't want to say solidity because that's literally a code for Ethereum. It has the most solid foundation, excuse me, in the crypto space. And as of right now, we need Bitcoin to continue moving forward. Now, I also believe, and we're about to get into this in a second, that there are a ton of other projects that are actually growing and making Web 3.0 like a reality and making life changing, things are happening there. And we're going to get into that right now, starting with ETH. So, ETH, my girlfriend, right? Talk about her all the time, right? And she has absolutely, check this out. I'm going to share my screen here. Share my screen for me, Miguel, would you please? So this is ETH starting off here, January. I've got my counter. I know it might be a little bit hard to see because I'm not trying to show you exact prices, but ETH literally was at a little bit less than, it was not quite, it was like at $1,000, but it was mid run up at that point. We went all the way up to so 4902, right? We went almost 500%. Now, let me say this. We went up 500% from the start of the year to the end of the year. And if you really want to zoom out and go to the start of the run to the end of the run and the low point and the high point, we went from $89 to almost $5,000. That is a 56x. Are you serious? If you would have bought ETH on the Rona dip, right? You would have bought ETH at $90, right? I don't know
That's
how much
wild,
more.
dude.
I don't know how
That's
much
wild.
more I can say. And the reality is, if you don't know what Ethereum is, let's make it really simple. Ethereum is you hear it called Web3. It is essentially the financial internet for cryptocurrencies, among other things that are built, and all of these projects are being built on top of and built on top of and built on top of. It is for decentralized finance. It does a lot more than that, but ultimately, a lot of this is the whole idea behind decentralized finance. ETH is going to win, and we're going to get into some details of what it's done. Miguel, what are your thoughts on ETH over the year? I know you're going to tell me, Bitcoin's better or whatever, but
No,
what are your thoughts on ETH?
I love ETH, right? I love ETH. Obviously, Bitcoin is my first love, but ETH is good, right? That's why I have a poster of ETH back here. Right? I wouldn't have a poster of it if I didn't respect ETH for what it
Yeah,
is. So ETH, like you said, right? $90. Now we hit almost practically $5,000. Life changing money was made with
yeah,
ETH, right?
yeah,
ETH is the platform that has created not just life changing money, but the life changing businesses. It has transformed the crypto space, right? We went from didn't not knowing what an NFT is to now everyone is about NFTs, right? People are building businesses on top of Ethereum. We're
Yeah.
seeing these metaverses, we're seeing these play to earn games, we're seeing all kinds of things happening on Ethereum that has completely changed the crypto space, right? The smart contract platform, yes, Ethereum has competitors, but so does Apple, so does
Oh, no,
Samsung,
no, no. I meant,
right?
I
They're
meant, I
still the
meant,
best.
I meant they're being built on top of, is what
Yeah,
I meant.
yeah, I
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I know. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I just want to point out to people that people, I'm sure they're thinking like, oh, but there's Avalanche and there's Solana and they're so much better, yada yada. Guys, they're ants compared to what ETH is. They are ants, right? There's competitors in everything, and it's okay. That's what the free market's supposed to be about.
Yeah.
Competition. It improves having competitors for Ethereum pushes Ethereum to be better. So that is a good thing. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean that they're going to kill Ethereum, right? There's
Yeah.
that title, that name's been thrown around a lot. The
Mm,
Ethereum killer
mhm.
hasn't happened, isn't
No,
going to happen anytime
no.
soon. Don't see it
Yeah.
happening anytime soon.
It's not. And, the one thing that you're going to hear when you hear people talk about ETH a lot, you're going to hear them talk about the gas fees is one of the things you're going to talk about. And then people that are really into the space are going to say, well, it's not fast enough. Okay. Well, let me just touch on the biggest, probably arguably the biggest thing that happened all year for Ethereum. We're looking back on the year, right? Is EIP 1559. Okay. And this was an improvement proposal that went through that ultimately started a burn that started to burn the gas instead of the gas fees being just all of the gas fees being paid to the miners. They started to burn the transaction fees, right? So Miguel, give me the number again. What was the number? How much Ethereum has been burnt as a result of EIP 1559? Do you have it sitting there in
It
front of you?
is, yeah, I have it right here. It has been 1.3 million ETH has been burned,
Which is
which
like
is an equivalent of
5 billion.
4.9, yeah,
Yeah,
$4.9 billion worth.
guys. Here's the deal. You're going to hear people talk about meme coins that are, have a burn mechanism and this, that, and the third. Listen, that is a gimmick,
Yeah,
right?
you can burn poop
This
all day long. It doesn't make poop
exactly,
any better, right?
exactly. You're still burning poop, right? And that's a great explanation there, Miguel. But the reality is with ETH, there are problems, but you know what? There's problems with every freaking company. There's problems when things grow. That's just a reality of life and business. Okay. Do we want to see these gas fees go away? Absolutely. Do I hate? Listen, Miguel and I were, have sent transactions back and forth. We were buying some NFTs. I think we spent a couple $100s on the last NFTs that we bought, two NFTs to mint them, right? That the gas fee that had to be paid on those was exuberant, right?
Yeah.
Exorbitant. I mean, not exuberant, exorbitant. And so yes, we want that to change. Could Ethereum speed up? Sure, there's projects that are faster, but here's the reality. ETH is the base layer that has more projects built on top of it than anything. And it works, right? And that's the thing that people aren't seeing sometimes is that this thing works. People are winning. People are not just making money, but they are building they are building the internet 3.0 on top of and as part of Ethereum, and decentralized finance
Yeah.
grows and grows more and more each day. It's huge. I don't see how
Decentralized
you can.
finance, right? DeFi would not have been available without
Yep.
Ethereum. Another revolutionary technology that has come about, right? Being your own bank, taking out loans,
Yep.
making money, making APY, things that your bank could never ever give you. Thank you, Ethereum.
Yep. And then
That's
and
what it's
then
about, smart contracts.
And then Miguel, I'll let you touch on this. Then you've got layer twos that show up, right? Let's just talk about one of them because it's done so
Yeah.
well. It was under a penny at the start of the year, I believe. Matic, which rebranded
Yep.
to Polygon, right? It's a layer two scaling solution for Ethereum. And what it does is it speeds up ETH and it drops those gas prices. So it is a token that is built on top of the Ethereum base layer, right? So it's a layer two solution and it works, right? And it's done incredible. Miguel, what did it go from under a penny all the way up to like $3? I think at the high.
Almost, yeah, about $3 or something like that. So it's done amazing, right? It's done amazing things. It goes to show you that just because ETH itself cannot solve a problem doesn't mean that ETH can't work with someone else in the
Yep.
crypto space to improve it, right? It goes to show you that, hey, why did Matic even exist, right? Why didn't just Matic do its own thing? It's because they see the value that ETH brings and say we can work on a solution for this to continue making this work. It'll work for us. It'll benefit us, and we're benefiting this, right? It's a symbiotic relationship. It's
Yeah.
not about just create a competitor and kill ETH. No,
Right.
just because something's not perfect doesn't mean you can't improve on it, right? Just because the paint job on your car is fading doesn't mean throw the car away. You can take it to a
Yeah.
shop and get it painted again and
Yep.
improve the car.
Yeah. And then we've got Brian. Great question. ETH 2.0. ETH 2.0 has not rolled out yet. But for those of you that don't know, ETH 2.0 is moving from proof of work to proof of stake. So you guys know that we're a teaching channel, right? So proof of work is mining. Proof of work is something like Bitcoin that is all using power, harnessing the power of your GPU or whatever it is that you're using.
Yeah,
To
A6 and all that stuff.
Yeah, whatever it is that you're using, they're harnessing that power to basically guess a hexadecimal number, and in return for guessing that or closest to that, you get rewarded in Bitcoin. So that takes a bunch of energy consumption. Now, the energy FUD is FUD. It's not real life. But all I'm saying is that uses energy. Now, we're moving over to proof of stake. Miguel definitely leans towards proof of stake being more centralized, which I understand the idea behind what he's saying. But proof of stake, to kind of show you what that is, proof of stake is, instead of mining, what you're doing is you're committing your ETH to the network to help solidify the network, to help secure the network, and for people to be able to, move things around upon the network because it is locked there. Yeah, I mean, proof of stake ultimately is a massive change.
Yep.
Some would argue that it's great. Some would argue that it's
It
not
has its
so great.
pros and cons, right? It has its pros and cons like anything else. But before we keep diving deeper into that, I want to remind everybody that's watching right now, if you're not signed up to Debate Crypto Academy and you want to keep learning, right, that's where the place to go. We're giving away 1 year of Market Cipher, guys. 1 year of Market Cipher. That's valued right now at over 500, I think it's like 600 something dollars right now,
Only
right?
because it's on sale. It's usually like $1,000.
Yeah, it's only because it's on sale, right? It's usually $1,000 worth. This is what we're giving away if you're signed up for the Debate Crypto Academy, and obviously you got to be subscribed to the YouTube as well. So, guys, don't miss out on this opportunity about educating yourself, learning how to trade, and learning how to be better in the crypto space and investing in yourself. So,
Check this
take a
out.
look at that, guys.
Here's what Market Cipher looks like. I'm not going to go into a detailed tutorial, and you're probably looking at this and thinking, "Holy mackerel, that looks crazy." But the reality is, when you start to learn about it, and Miguel and I are learning about it, right? You have really awesome indicators. You have things called blood diamonds, where I can just glance at this and see these blood diamonds, right? These blood diamonds are saying, "Hey, on this time frame, we've got a big drop coming," and then boom, right? These green dots, right? You can see these green dots down here. They will print in, a couple different places and confirm, and then you look up and boom, run up, right? Green dot here, boom, run up, right? And so there are a lot of cool things that this does. It shows you the momentum of the money flow. Once you learn how to use this, and again, just to be clear, I'm still learning how to use this, but once you learn how to use it, it's not that it gives you the answers or just how to trade, but it is yet another tool in your tool belt to say, you know what? I'd like to be in this. What does this look like? Okay, here's what I think it looks like. Boom, boom, boom. I use all the information that I have, and then I throw Market Cipher on top of it, and Market Cipher says, hey, you know what? I agree. It's a good time to
Yep.
go long, or no, I don't agree, or I agree. It's a good time to short.
It's a
It's
great way to visualize all
it's
the
cool.
things that are happening and be able to come up with a conclusion of what to do, buy or sell short. I want to
Yeah.
address this comment here by Lou.
Yeah.
Says, 2017 hasn't had the plethora of altcoins to compete with.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see Bitcoin's dominance becoming less and less over time? Yes, but you also got to think more crypto, more money into crypto. Yes, Bitcoin might have a less dominance over the entire crypto space, but the market cap of Bitcoin, the value that Bitcoin is going to be having, is going to also continuously grow, right? Trillions and trillions of dollars. The closest one to Bitcoin's market cap is ETH, and it's not even at $1 trillion yet. And Bitcoin's been above $1 trillion. So even though its dominance might shrink, the value of Bitcoin will continue to grow. So Bitcoin's place isn't going away anytime soon.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. I totally agree with you.
But
So
back to
let's
ETH. Back to ETH.
Yeah, so no, and actually, as it relates to ETH, here's the deal. It's going to continue to be built upon. If it for me, and this is not financial advice, but the only two assets that I will be holding or plan on holding when this run is over is exactly what Miguel's pointing at, right? Is Bitcoin and ETH, right? ETH and Bitcoin, because those two
Yep.
ultimately are what stabilizes and moves the markets, and they're going to be around. They're not going
Yep.
anywhere. I
The
can tell you
risk
that.
tolerance, right,
So,
of holding some other assets for a long period of time through a bear market is way bigger than holding
yeah.
Bitcoin or Ethereum throughout a bear market. I understand that they can still drop in value, but they're not going to disappear. They're not going to
Actually,
just dry out.
I am holding one other one. If assuming that this doesn't, assuming that the lawsuit for some reason doesn't come up, and I know Miguel's going to be super excited to talk about this one. Let's sum up XRP, right? Let's sum up XRP.
So, guys, for anybody that doesn't know, XRP has changed drastically this year. It went from a banker
Oh,
coin
here
to a
we
stable
go.
coin. It no longer does anything but just sit there in your wallet, rotting away, doing nothing.
Oh, geez. So yeah. So if you can't tell, Miguel definitely is not a fan of XRP, which is totally fine. I've got a decent little bit of XRP, and I believe that it is going to win. But here's the summation of XRP. XRP has been in a lawsuit since December of last year, right? And the reality is, or was that December of 19? Yeah, that was December of
No, I think it was this year. I think it was this year,
No, it was December. It was December for sure. So it was last year for sure. Yeah, it was
2020.
December of 20. It was December of 20. And it's been in literally just hanging out, right? Waiting for this thing to be over. It's so polarizing. Everybody talks about it. Excuse me. At the end of the day, XRB can be summed up in one way, or
One
one
way.
word, right?
They got what they deserved.
Lawsuit, right? It just needs to be over. And so whether you believe in it, whether you don't, the one thing you do know is that it is being absolutely held down, and we need the lawsuit to finish. So that's kind of what I would say about XRP. I think we've got a huge pump incoming when it does happen. But speaking of what Miguel would call crap coins, right? Let's
XRP, you mean?
let's touch on something that Miguel and I actually talked about this year as being a possibility for why we didn't have a blow off top, and that's meme coins. Okay, you guys know me. I've got the special. Let me show it to you again. It's the end of the year. I got to show you guys one more time. There is a hardware wallet that I have that I buy especially for coins like Shiba and Dogecoin and Doge Elon and all Elon Gate and all of these right. So I've got a special hardware wallet. And so here, let me show it to you guys. Okay. This is the hardware wallet for all meme coins. You buy said meme coin, right? And you throw it in the freaking trash and it's safe there. Okay. Okay, good. And so if you can't tell, not a fan of the meme coins. I think that overall, the only thing that meme coins do and have done for the markets overall has been introduced new people that otherwise maybe wouldn't be introduced, which is a good thing. The problem with that is so many people. Listen, you guys only hear the stories about people that did like these awesome, fantastic things.
Yep.
When was the last time you had somebody talking in the comments about how, like, hey, check this out? I got absolutely wrecked on this meme coin, this meme coin, this meme coin. And the fact is, that is the numbers. The numbers
That's
say
the
that the majority
majority.
of people get
Yep.
wrecked, right? And so I'm just not a big fan of meme coins, but Miguel and I talked about this. There was a massive inflow of dollars into the crypto space because of meme coins. And there was a lot of people that made a ton of money and a lot of people that lost a ton of money. But the fact is, there was a lot of volume. And so meme
Yes.
coins, Miguel, what do you feel like the overall the year looked like as it related to meme coins? What did it do? Did it help? Did it not? Drop a 1 in the chat if you think that meme coins are good for the market. Drop a 2 in the chat if you think that meme coins are bad.
Yeah, I just wanna point out dot chin, which is Heidi. Thank you so much for
Oh,
the
thank you, Heidi.
super chat. We greatly appreciate it.
Heidi's
Want to make sure
Heidi's always supporting us with the
always
super chats.
always
Thank you,
we
Heidi. We
greatly
appreciate
appreciate
you.
it.
And she's part of the fam too. She's part of Debate Crypto Academy. So we
Yeah,
love
she's
you,
part of
honey.
the
Thank you.
academy. Yeah. So the meme coins, right? The meme coins, the NFTs, all these kind of things, they've definitely brought a lot of volume. We saw a lot of people jump into meme coins that didn't know anything about crypto, right? We saw a lot of people jump into NFTs that didn't know anything about crypto, but they were just buying NFTs instead of learning about the crypto assets. And it's honestly, in my opinion, they both have been a big distraction. I understand people have made a lot of money with NFTs, but a lot of people have also just been left holding it back in an illiquid bag of NFTs that they cannot sell. And meme coins, right? People have made money, but a lot of people kept holding on to Doge forever after that Saturday Night Live, thinking that it was going to pump up. That Elon any minute is going to come out and tweet 3 farts and it's going to blast through the roof again. And it hasn't happened anymore, right? Going to show you that he can't pump it, right? He just times his tweets at the right time to make sure things look like he's pumping it, but it's not really him and his tweets that are doing anything. He's not going to be revamping Doge and making Doge into a better project. That's all just talk, 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 talk. That's not ever
Yeah.
going to happen. These meme coins make you money, but they're very short term, very high risk. And most of the time you end up losing because you end up holding too long. Look at that Dogecoin millionaire. He's not a millionaire anymore, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's forgotten about him, and everybody's forgotten about everyone else that's been holding up Doge and Shiba. The meme coin people, they come out when it's pumping through the roof. Oh, we told you, we told you.
And
When it
chastise
goes
me
down,
for telling them to take profits
yeah.
when they
When
shouldn't.
it goes down, they disappear. They're nowhere to be found. There's no supporters anywhere. They only show up when the party's hot. So therefore, meaning that there's no real loyalty or real value to the project. People just like to pump up their own bags and create new bag holders.
That's right. It's literally like being the popular kid in school. That doesn't carry over into life after school. For real, think about it, right? And it is short lived. It's cool while it's happening, and if you capitalize, then you might have some cool things happen for you while you're in school, right? But ultimately, after that, you can still be the biggest freaking loser on earth. You can still be a scumbag. You can still be this, that, and the third. Here's the deal. I want to make this clear. If you guys have made money with meme coins, I'm literally really happy for you. I like when anybody makes money. So this is never, like, congrats. It's freaking awesome. As long as you understood when you got into them, hey, I'm gambling. I'm literally rolling dice. I am spinning the roulette wheel. I am playing blackjack. I'm playing, games like this at the casino, essentially, then fine. Because that means that you're willing to lose the money that you put in. My problem has always been with meme coins that I meet someone new that's in the crypto space and they say, oh, yeah, you're CryptoKeeper, this, that, and the third, or it'll be a friend from church or whatever, or from school or whatever. And they'll say, Nick, they'll like, talk to me about this. Like, I just bought a fat bag of SHIB. And I'm like, and they're telling me because they're excited they got into the crypto space. But and you don't want to like pull them off of their pedestal because I'm happy that they got in. But the reality is they think when they tell me that they've bought into an asset that is a long-term solution and an investment. When ultimately what they did was walked over to Hollywood Casino here in Columbus, Ohio, and started rolling dice at the table. And I just want to make sure that people know that they're rolling dice. That's really
exactly.
I rolled dice with Dogecoin, and it's funny that I hate on meme coin so much. I rolled dice on Dogecoin, and I did 100x. I had $11 of dust left over from a couple transactions, and I said, you know what? It was 0.002 cents, and I sold it 22 cents. So I made literally over 100x. It was actually 110x on Dogecoin. What was the first thing I thought about when that happened? I literally was almost like irritated with myself. I was like, I'm not going to tell people that. And I'm like, yes, you are, because you tell people everything and you're just you. Right. And I was like, you know what? The reality is, I wish I would have put more in there, but looking back, I wouldn't have put more in there because I don't agree with fundamentally what meme
with the
coins
risk.
are about. Yep. So that's been a year with all the memes for sure. Make sure that you guys
One
sign
last
up.
time. One last time. Sign up for Debate Crypto Academy. We're giving away 1 year access to Market Cipher. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers before the year ends, guys. We're just under. We're like short by like 20 people or so. Just
Yeah.
hit that subscribe button and get us to 3,000 before the year is over. We greatly appreciate it. And remember,
Heck
if you sign up to the Debate Crypto Academy, you're not just getting value of us educating you guys, weekly 1 hour seminars every Sunday, plus having direct access to us on our Telegram chats, right? Along with a tight knit community. We're always learning. We're getting into trading. You're gonna have the chance of winning over $600 worth of value with Market Cipher if you are the
yeah.
winner, but you need to be part of the academy for that, guys.
Yeah, and ultimately, guys, just to jump on top of that before we jump into the next topic, you can find, and I always say this because I think it's important to say. So many people will be like, "Oh, these guys are trying to sell us a course or whatever." No, let me tell you what we're doing here, right? We didn't have the support that is out there right now. You can find anything that you want to find, period, on the internet for free, right? You don't have to pay for it. How much time is it going to take you to figure out the right questions, then ask the right questions, then do all the research, then once you've done the research, start to try to make decisions, then second guess your decisions, and then find a bunch of friends that align with your thought processes that are going to be able to be on board with you and talk through ideas. We're taking all of that out of there. So if you value your time, that's ultimately what we're trying to do, is help educate you so you can make better decisions and do it faster, because that's what time is the most valuable commodity on planet Earth, if you ask me. Speaking of Earth, Metaverse starring Miguel.
Yeah.
What is up with this metaverse thing, bro? So we
Good.
heard earlier this year that Facebook was switching their name to, well, that wasn't even that long ago, but we hear, Facebook switching their name to Meta and this, that, and the third. But tell the viewers, what is the metaverse, Miguel?
The metaverse, right? It is a digital space where people communicate, where people interact, right? You can technically claim that when you're playing Call of Duty, when you're inside these games, you're inside a metaverse already, right? It's a digital space, a digital world where people interact. So it's simple as that. The difference about these metaverses are that they're not tied to a specific game where you're playing a specific scenario. You're in an open world community where things are being built, right? People are owning land. People have ownership of what's happening in the game in this digital space. People have the ownership. They're putting assets out there. They're doing advertising. They're running businesses outside the metaverse. And you can participate in this freely. You can run around your own avatar, which could be your NFT, right? Everything is about ownership and having control over what is happening in the space. So that is the big difference in these types of metaverses when it comes to crypto versus on any of these previous metaverses, right? You can claim that social media is a metaverse of its own, but you don't have any ownership in there. You don't have any censorship resistance there, right? These metaverses give you this. They give you ownership, and you are not going to be censored. You're going to be free to do whatever you want there.
Yeah, and I think that the metaverse is going to be one of these things that's evolving, just like the crypto space. That's going to be evolving, just like the internet when it first came out. Yeah, thank you, Children of the Coin. First of all, Children of the Coin. I'm guessing you're maybe
That's an awesome name.
my age ish or somewhere around there, because Miguel is probably too young to know what Children of the Corn is. No, you don't know? Oh, he doesn't. So, dude, that's a play on it. There's a movie called Children of the Corn. It's actually it's a series of horror movies from the 80s and 90s, and it's fantastic. So, Children of the Coin. You just taught Miguel something. Thank you for the sub. We appreciate you, and great freaking name. I love to recognize a great name. But yeah, so the metaverse, right? The metaverse, and when people think about it, they're like, wait a minute, am I like moving to some otherworldly experience? Well, kind of, right? Miguel, you're muted,
Not
by the
yet.
way.
Not yet. Yeah.
And I think what people need to accept is the fact that, like, we are moving as a society to more digital on just about everything. Okay, you're going to see Miguel and I streaming soon from the metaverse, right? We literally have forgot to do what we needed to do 10 different times now, Miguel, and bought what we needed to buy, but we have not.
I mean, there's been some other obstacles that I've noticed which is why I haven't pushed hard on
Oh,
it.
okay, I got you. Well, but in any event, the reality is we are headed to a place where you could you. So let me give you an example. You can buy land in the metaverse right now. Miguel and I were talking about this yesterday, and you could just buy a plot of land, not build anything on it, but start putting signs up on there with advertising. So you can sell advertising, real world advertising in the
Yeah.
metaverse. Why? Well, because the metaverse at some point is going to be a place where, like, you get onto Amazon on your phone right now, right? At some point, I believe, instead of jumping on your phone to go to Amazon, you'll be either able to flip on your glasses or do whatever you're doing. Right now, it's like actually putting on, some VR stuff, whatever, and or sitting down at your computer, and you're going to actually be able to like walk through and look at things and like maybe pick them up and see what they look like and really spin them around and look at them. And so it starts as like a gaming thing where it's going to be cool and fun and social and all these things. But you already know, if it's on planet Earth, it is here to be monetized, and it will be monetized exactly like the Earth that we live in right now. There will be ads, just like there are ads on the front end of this YouTube. There will be ads on in the metaverse. It is going to be an otherworldly experience of this world. I mean, that's what else? What else are you gonna, call it?
Oh,
Yeah, Ready
exactly,
Player
right?
One, great,
Exactly.
great movie, by the way.
Ready Player One, right? That's eventually going to be the thing, right? Right now, we're not there yet. We don't have the full technology, but we have the technology to an extent, right? We have the we have the headset, we have the vest, the suit, we have gloves, we have little shoes that you can put on for your feet. We have the little track thing that you can stand on and strap
Dude,
yourself
you
into.
talking about
We
the
can,
one that the guys on
the guy's like running away, right? Yeah, like you can strap yourself in there and literally go for a full sprint, right? So like all these things do kind of already exist. So the technology that was shown in Player Ready One is pretty relative to what we have now. It's just not at a level like in the movie where everyone has one or is
right,
very widely popular. We're still
yeah,
haven't gotten to that popularity, but the technology exists. It's just a little bit expensive right now. Those treadmills cost like 5,000, 7,000
right,
each
right.
right now. So most people are not going to be buying one of those and putting it in their house.
There's
And
definitely
the
a barrier
game
to entry. Yeah,
and the game's not there yet, right? The level of Player One ready metaverse, we don't have that level of a game yet,
yeah.
but we will, right? We will. By the end of this decade, you can bet your bottom
Oh yeah,
dollar we're going to be right. Video gaming is all about making it indistinguishable from reality, making
hmm
it better looking, better, more realistic. It's going to come to the point where we're not going to know if you're playing a video game or you're watching a movie. You don't
Let,
know.
so let me tell anyone that hasn't messed around with, let's just say, the Oculus. Okay, I'm going to tell a quick story. I was over at my father-in-law's on I think it was Christmas Eve. And somebody had the Oculus Quest 2 there. And I said, "Hey, can't you like walk a plank or something on there?" "Yeah, dude, you got to check it out, blah, blah, blah." So you go up this elevator. Okay. I've got the headset on. You go up an elevator. First of all, it's cool because you don't even have to have the controllers in your hand. That you actually can figure out how to just use your hands as opposed to, but I was holding the controllers. I reach out, I push a button. Like I literally just reach out and boop, and I push the button for the elevator. I go up. The elevator opens, and I'm standing like on the top of like the tower in Dubai or whatever that's called, the Burj Khalifa or whatever it's called. And and there's a little plank. There's this little wood plank. Now, mind you, I know that I'm standing in the middle of the living room in the house. And so I am, and ultimately I'm skydiving many times. I freaking I jumped off a 75-foot cliff on my honeymoon into raging waters and timed the jump. I'm stupid, right? Or I used to be stupid. I've got rid of some of that risk now for my daughter's sake. But ultimately, yeah, that's just not something that I'm really scared of. I kid you not. It took me like 30 seconds, and I had to look this up, and I'm about to tell you in a second. It took me like 30 seconds to Nick was telling me, his name's Nick too, was telling me, he said, "Bro, walk out there and then step off and feel that." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then when I walked out there, first of all, when I walked out there, I was like low key, like, oh my gosh, like feeling some type of way, like I was really up there. And it took me like 30 seconds to convince myself to step off that. Now, why? I didn't know why. I just I was like, no freaking way. This is so crazy. Because when I did step off, it felt very real. Here's the deal: your brain cannot distinguish the difference when you have this Oculus on that cannot distinguish the difference between what's real and what's fake. And so what's happening is, even though part of my brain is trying to tell me, hey dude, hey idiot, you're standing in the family room, you're not going to get hurt when you step off of here, the rest of your brain is firing and saying, bro, no, danger, danger, danger. And there's alarms going off that said danger, danger, danger. I put it on my wife, and she's super risk averse. Like, I already knew what the deal was, but she literally put it on. My wife like never cussed her or anything, and this is her response: "Oh hell no!" And then takes it off and hands it back. It's so freaking real, dude. It's
Yep.
insane. It was scary. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, and that's like with graphics that are
I was gonna say
you
that's
see it.
that's amateur hour for what it's
Yeah,
gonna be.
yeah, it is, right? Amateur hour, right? But perfectly said. Like, it's graphics that you see, like, oh, this is not real. This is not a real bird flying around. But when we get to the level of like real graphics, right? Like these like cinematic graphics that you see on trailers for video games that they look super real, dude. When you get in there, you're not gonna know if this thing is real. It's gonna come to a point where if they put a headset on when you're sleeping and you wake up and you see what you see in there, you're not gonna know if you just woke up and you have your headset on or not, dude. You're
That's a
not gonna know
wild
the
idea.
difference between reality and that digital world. It's going to
So
merge.
so let me ask you, Miguel. What do you think is most? What do you think is going to be the biggest earner? This is a crypto, crypto channel. What do you think is going to be the biggest earner in the metaverse? What do you
What do
think is
you
going
mean
to
by
do
that?
what like if someone in the chat said, "Hey, CryptoKeeper, BlockchainCrusader, Nick, Miguel, tell me what you think that I should invest in." Not financial advice, but what would you say you think is going to do the best?
Based on what exists right now, things like Sandbox, right? Things like Decentraland, where you
No,
can.
I mean within the metaverse, like
Oh,
real estate, gaming,
oh,
NFTs.
yes,
Like, what do you
yes,
think's
yes.
gonna?
Real estate, 100%. We've already seen real estate, right? We've seen NFTs for the metaverse that are a digital yacht being sold for $650,000,
Yeah,
right? For their
yeah,
metaverse. So real estate, like anything else, is always going to be prime
yeah.
for money, right? It's going to be the
Right.
biggest earner because there's only so much land. Eventually, and you're gonna be able to, like you said, advertise, run businesses, all these kind of
Uh,
things. Lease the land out to somebody else so they develop something on the Decentraland or on Sandbox or whatever, right? Owning land next to a super popular company or super
yep.
popular influencer like BitBoy. BitBoy has land on there, right? If you can
Hmm.
own a square of land next to BitBoys, you're gonna get maybe some more traffic than you would in somewhere else. So real
Yeah.
estate, I think, is always going to be the biggest earner when it comes
Yeah.
to that. And gaming, it will be number two, right? Gaming, play to earn stuff is definitely going to be number two to real estate.
Yeah. I would tend to agree. I'm really interested to see what happens. We didn't dive too deep into this, but the NFT stuff that happened all this year, we've got Bored
That's
Apes
going to
and
keep growing. That's going
and
to
what
have weight.
has been going nuts. And I think that will spill over into the metaverse more and more and more. But I think for me,
Yep.
what I think is more and more and more the NFTs are going to just become part of. So like with gaming, it's just going to be like when you're on Call of Duty right now and you buy a new gun. Like, you're not even going to think about the fact that, oh, I'm buying an NFT right now. It's just, hey, I bought a new gun in Call of Duty today or whatever. Oh
Yep.
yeah, and I can rent that out to somebody, or I could sell it to somebody. I actually have ownership of it, and I think that that's going to happen in the metaverse as well. Miguel, we've talked about gaming, Gold Fever. We really love what Gold Fever is going to be, and we love the fact that you can actually own land in there, mine that land, rent out, airplanes, boats. Basically do all of the things except for actually mining the gold. And we've talked about like who made the most money in the gold rush, right? Those that
Yep.
sold the picks, right?
Shovels.
The shovels,
Yep.
yeah. And so I just think that it's going to be an ever changing and evolving, status quo of what these NFTs can do and will do, but they're going to continue to and become more and more of like the norm, I think, as we
Yes.
get farther and farther into it.
I
So
completely agree.
Man, it's been a wild year, Miguel. Let's kind of sum it up with one last big question that we can talk about for a couple minutes. What do you see 2022 looking like in the grand scheme of things, crypto space? We can spend a few minutes on this.
Yeah,
Let's talk about 2022. What do you see?
I see a big change, right? Where we're seeing metaverse play to earn going to be a big thing in the beginning of 2021, quarter one. A lot of games, right? Illuvium, Gold Fever, and so much bigger, way advanced games are coming out, right? It's not going to be these little like games you play on your phone anymore that you just tap here, tap there. It's going to be way more immersive and interactive. That's going to be quarter one of 2021. I mean 2022 for metaverse and play to earn games. At the same time, Bitcoin is entering uncharted waters, right? Where it looks like we're entering some type of extended cycle. Maybe we still have a lot more run up to do, right? The inflation in the United States continues to grow. We have the promise that interest rates are going to be hiked three times in 2022. If that does not happen or becomes delayed, inflation will continue to grow. With that comes the expectation that we will see Bitcoin go up in price, meaning Bitcoin's extended cycle could be proven now in 2022. So 2022 is going to prove, did we top? Did we not top? Are we entering an extended cycle? Is the 4-year cycle broken? These are very important questions that are going to be answered in 2022.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see. Sorry, I was taking a peek at. I just glanced over at the charts, and there's a blood diamond on the 4 hour for Bitcoin right now. It's dropping currently, so that sucks. I checked out Crypto Santa Claus. Thanks for the heads up. I got caught with my pants down there to looking at the charts for a second. But yeah, there's a blood diamond on Market Cipher on the 4 hour right now, so that sucks. But yeah, I think that for me, I think 2022 is the only way that I could describe. If I could describe 2022 with something other than words, it would be a question mark. And you're like, wait a minute, well that sucks, CryptoKeeper. Here's what I mean. I think that we have potential to absolutely blast off and go into an extended cycle and do things that I think no one thought could happen in 2022. The other part of me, though, sees, the possibility of, all of the chaos that's been happening since March of 2020 up until now spilling over into all of the financial markets. And, the crypto space is going to suffer heavily, if not just for a short period of time, but it will suffer pretty heavily when that does happen. What I'm hoping and praying is that, including myself, right? I'm using myself in this too, is that we have put together a good enough game plan and have taken profits when we need to, if we're taking profits, or just held on tight if we're just holding on tight. But we've put that game plan together. We've got ourselves educated. We understand where we're at and where we're headed, which is a big part of what we teach in the academy, right? And so I just want to impress upon people that nothing is free in life and nothing is given. We could have an absolute massive year coming up, and we could have an absolute disappointment due to macroeconomic factors.
Yeah.
So for me, it's
Massive
kind of
can
a
go
question
either
mark.
way.
Yeah, yeah. For me,
Massive
it's a
can be
question mark.
massively up or massively down, right?
Yeah, but massive. But listen. Either way, I believe. And let me finish this with the bull case here. We give you the bull and the bear, guys. It's just the reality of life, right? You have a good and a bad. The good on both sides of it, though, is if it goes massively up, I hope you guys will make good decisions with those, funds and make good decisions with what
Yep.
whether you take profits or whether you continue to stack or add more, whatever you do, right? But if it goes massively down, I believe, this is not financial advice, obviously, but I believe that it is the word is opportunity. And I think that if we go massively down, the good thing about that is yet another opportunity. And I will say this for the record, it is New Year's Eve 2021. It is 2:13 Eastern Standard Time, so we can go back and look at this. I believe that we are going to see the biggest opportunity ever in the crypto space as a result of something that happens this year. Now, I can't sit here and tell you what or when exactly I think it's going to happen, but I do think that we need to be prepared that we are going to have a massive opportunity at some point where we are diving down into the dumps. But if you are prepared for it and you have those reserves sitting to the side and you are ready for the long term, this could be life changing this year. And it could be life changing in a number of different ways. We could have a massive run and we're able to take profits, and then it dumps heavy and we're able to reinvest. But the reality is, guys, long term, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2030, guys, there's no reason that if you can't, at a minimum dollar cost average, there's no reason you cannot make life-changing money for you and your family. And I would encourage you guys to do whatever needs to happen to make that happen, you know?
Yeah, 100% agree with that. 100% agree. I hope we don't see that massive correction. I hope we see
Yeah.
that after the massive blow off top and the parabolic rise, so we can take those profits and then use that opportunity to, really buy in. But we'll see what happens.
I
Don't
totally
worry,
agree.
guys. We'll be here throughout the whole entire
Yeah.
ride,
That,
up
that
and
was,
down.
you know what? That's funny. That's exactly what I was going to say. I was just going to say, guys, listen, if you're not subscribed to us, make sure you subscribe. If you haven't smashed the like, X out, smash a like. Here's the deal. It's New Year's Eve. I want everybody to please, please, please be safe. Please don't drink and drive. Too many people have lost their lives as a result of that, not just tonight, but any night. We love each and every one of you. We appreciate each and every one of you, not just because you subscribe to us, not just because you follow us, not just because you're sitting here right now, but because you're another human being. And we need to come together, hold hands, so to speak, rise up, say enough's enough with some of the chaos that's going on right now, and move forward with our lives, be healthy, live and love life. And I just wish that all of you the best ever 2022 upcoming. We do love you guys. And until next time, hodl.
Like it's hot.